She is pure renegade. She is the most dangerous woman in Hollywood. She is Tonya Kay. Stay tuned for iTalk Movies.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's iTalk Movies.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to iTalk Movies here at the Popcorn Talk Network. I am your host, Tami Goveia. And we have in studio today, I'm going to describe Miss Tonya Kay as a tour de force. I was trying to come up with an adjective to describe you. Do you think that's a good one?
I'll take it.
You'll take it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Spirit animal is appropriate.
Perfect.
Force of nature, I'll take it.
We are in sync. We are totally in sync. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, Tammy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So much I want to talk to you about. Let's start with congratulations for the Ascension of Ava Delaine. Okay. Passion project of yours. Talk a little bit first about your background, because that will segue into how the heck you got here.
Yeah, so my background is I grew up in a farm town in Michigan.
Rural. It's always a hard word for me.
Rural Michigan. And found a lot of like familial love and joy from doing theater with my family. So
large family or
no, small family,
okay.
But we were all singing and dancing and rehearsing and acting together. And that was the point, you know, that's why I fell in love with it.
Did it come from an entertainment background, or you just loved put it on a show, kids?
Yeah, pretty much. We're creative. We're self-expressed. We're open-minded family, even in rural Michigan.
Yeah.
So that's where my love for just the performing arts and the entertainment world came from. I picked up a VHS camera when I was pretty young.
Oh my
those
God.
giant things.
Yes.
Hold them up here. It makes red cameras are smaller than the old VHS cameras. So I had one of those, and I won some awards. I was making movies, sketch comedy, claymation.
Do you still have some of that footage?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Archival footage.
Oh my gosh.
Some of it was pretty funny. I won an award for the claymation one. And that was on a VHS camera where there's no digital settings. So I basically press start and stop to get each frame of movement in this claymation thing. It was awesome.
What inspired that idea for claymation?
I'm a visual artist as well, so I draw and I create things with clay. I build set pieces and props and build costumes. I just like to see and create, but back then I was creating with clay and thought, well, I make movies and I make things with clay. Let's see how this goes together. And it went together well.
Yeah.
But my career really began with professional dance. So I've danced all over the place. I've danced on Broadway. I've danced in Stomp for 3 years.
So did you go from Michigan to New York?
Michigan to Chicago.
To Chicago.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. And that's a nice step. It was close to home, so I could still visit my family.
Yeah.
And Chicago, I've lived and worked in each of the 3 major markets in the United States, and they couldn't be more different. And I'm glad that I did them in the order that I did. Because Chicago is kind of like that place where normal people go to be entertainers, and you can have a family.
So the other markets are a little abnormal.
Well, it's more expensive. It's so dramatically more expensive that I think there's not as much startup opportunity maybe in New York or LA. You got to have you got to have it together.
Yes.
If you're in New York or LA, because 1 month of not making your rent. But in Chicago, there's still affordable rent, at least at the time there was. So you are free to experiment or start your own project or get your feet on the ground, which didn't take me long. I booked right away, and I was booking tours and, local theater.
Where did you study dancing?
Well, in my hometown.
Right.
I studied dancing with Joan Van Arsdalen.
Okay.
And
Thank
then,
you, Joan.
Yes, thank you, Joan.
Yeah.
And then in Chicago, I was on scholarship at Joel Hall Dance Studio, and I taught for Hubbard Street Dance Chicago,
Okay.
which is a major dance company.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Then I moved to New York, and I was on scholarship at Steps on Broadway there, and I did concert dance there. I did De La Guarda. I did Stomp. I toured with Panic at the Disco, and I toured with Kenny Rogers.
Oh my gosh.
Really cool stuff. World tours, domestic tours, all over the place. I loved touring at that time in my life, and even did some stints in Vegas. Ended up in Los Angeles. Well, in New York, let me tell you, what I learned was from that market, it's like how to make meaning out of art. So everybody, your audience there wants it to mean something.
Okay.
They want to make it matter. And that's beautiful. The work, yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So I do a lot of stuff really well, but I don't want people to hire me to do all that stuff. I just do it for myself. I'm good at business. I'm a Libra. I like negotiating. I feel like negotiating isn't about getting what I want. It's about getting what everybody wants. So I feel like I'm good at business. At first, it took me a while, though. It took me a little bit of time to realize how important it was to connect with people, people that you enjoy. A lot of young artists that come to Los Angeles I think even myself, that you are supposed to socialize your way into work. And that's true, but it's not true.
Yeah.
It's now that I've been doing it for the long term here, over 10 years, I kind of see, well, it is relationship based, but the point is it's not to be fake. It's not to just meet famous people or people who can help you. It's about meeting people that you enjoy working with.
Having an authentic experience across the board. Yeah.
And then that's going to carry you through long term. It's like the long term seduction.
Yes.
So
That's a perfect way of putting it.
yeah. And when you get here, you're just like, oh no, I have to prove to everybody that I see that I'm worth hiring. And that's not really how I go about it anymore. You know, I see it from a broader perspective at this point.
It's interesting talking to you, seeing how you are multifaceted and you like to do a million different things and you do them well because you put your passion and your focus in everything that you do. So it makes sense that with the Ascension of Ava Delaine, and I just love the title of that short, this is your directorial debut? Yes.
You could say that. Yeah, I've directed a lot of short films, but this is the one that I've put out there.
Yes.
This is the one that people see, well, at festivals so far. It's not publicly released yet. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. We just won the mobile category at AT&T Shape Film Awards, which was a pretty big deal.
You think? Yeah.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal. It is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yes.
Kathy Yan mentored us, and she's the director of Birds of Prey. She has a really unique story herself. We also had a great ceremony at Warner Brothers Studio.
Yes.
Really cool stuff.
So I went to the event and I went to see Gina Davis and Tyra Banks and I found you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So win. That's how I look at it. And I remember being in that soundstage, hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And the film awards, the categories. So underrepresented filmmakers, shot on mobile, which is what your short won for. New forms of storytelling, futuristic and social good. That film, The Social Good short, was like,
oh, I'm backstage. Like,
oh my God, it was so good. Yours and The Social Good, those were the two that really stood out, really impacted and really resonated. Talk a little bit about, so the Ascension of Ava Delaine. Who is she? How did you come up with her? How did she find you?
Well, the whole movie, it's an emerging technology film. So it started with me calling every drone operator I knew and asking them about their craft, like what operating the drone is like, what they haven't seen done on a drone. How hard would it be to do the thing they haven't seen? What would we need? I just drilled all of my friends that operate drones because I knew I wanted to go mobile. I wanted it to be drone, and I wanted to be 100% drone. So when I found out that this, and this type of shot would be really cool to see on a drone, then I called Shola Evans, and she's the writer, and we discussed it. I basically said, here's what the shots are. What's the story, Shola?
Interesting.
In 24 hours, that woman had a script to me, and it was amazing. And that's why we work together, because she is like that. We're just on the same wavelength. And her script was about the Ascension of Ava Delaine. And that tells a story that's not often told in mainstream media, about a woman as she travels through the decades of her life, becoming more confident, more sexual, more valuable as she ages. Because we know this is true.
Absolutely.
But media maybe has us believe otherwise. And we need some stories out there to reflect that this is actually happening. So we didn't just make an emerging technology story. We made one that's pure renegade as well. And female empowerment. We call it an empowerment fantasy. But it's very fantastical. At the end of the film, which you've seen, Ava drops a key back down to herself. And that's the big symbol, is like, would you give yourself the same knowledge, the key to open the door to the life that you have lived?
Yeah.
And I think most of us really feel that way, if we don't look at society and believe that our bodies have to look a certain way, or our skin has to look a certain way. And we're if we believe and love ourselves, we really do feel like we do it all over again.
I think so.
This is the best times of our lives. Every year.
Every moment.
It becomes the best time of our
Absolutely.
lives. And then the work was, after the story was there, I brought in Leslie Abney, and she's an artist, storyboard artist. And it was really important for this film to be seen in storyboard form, because what we're doing is a single take, vertical. We climb vertically 5 different stories.
So I remember watching it and like, oh my God, this was so great. And then realizing, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, back up. What?
Yeah, right?
What? So when you were talking to your drone people, that sounds weird. When you were talking to your drone people, did they come up with that, this would be really cool if you could do this in one take kind of thing? Or did that metamorphose
It was
into
conversation.
that? Okay.
There's a few films out there. Well, there's a lot of films out there that are single takes. Let's say this other film that was shot on drone, they didn't do it in a single take, so they can change lenses. I mean, the cameras on these drones are
Amazing.
amazing. They
Yeah.
have perfect lenses. They shoot in 5K. They're just beautiful. So if we had that opportunity to cut, we could hold the drone and stick a lav mic on our actors,
Yeah.
and have some dialogue, change the lens, get some beauty shots. But no, we're doing it single take. We can't change a lens. We had to choose a lens that would look good for most everything. And we did choose to go vertically, because a lot of single takes and a lot of drones are overhead, or they're just horizontal. They move horizontally. So this is exciting vertically.
Yes.
We've never seen it done. And then
And it affects you. As a viewer, it affects you
good.
physically.
Good.
Just that upward motion.
Yeah, it's the ascension.
It's the ascension.
It's the rising.
So when you're not thinking, oh, it's the ascension and I'm ascending. You're not thinking that while you're watching the short, while you're watching the film. but it plays on that.
Yeah.
It completely plays on that.
You just gave me chills.
It's, the viewer experience. This is
you.
what's happening.
Yeah, so after we had the storyboard was actually really important to this project because I couldn't have gotten my drone operator, which is Andrea Chamberlain. She's our director of photography. She's our drone operator. I couldn't have gotten her without kind of showing her how cool it was going to be. And Leslie, our storyboard artist, was so good. She was just in my mind when I described what we were going to see. She did camera moves, and it's complex because it's a drone camera move. It's not as simple as just sitting it or sliding it.
Yeah. So I'm hearing women,
Yeah.
women. What was the ratio of the crew? And
Mostly women.
that's amazing. Was that
Yeah.
a conscious choice on your part, or that's just who you happen to collect? And when you step back and realized, wow.
Well, I always like to, I'm a woman, and I know how valuable we are. I always like to hear from women. So if I'm talking to anyone, I mean, I want to hear from half as many women as I do men, because that's the world and that's the way it should be.
Well, there's a very strong initiative in Hollywood now that all crews be 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50.
Consciously making it a balanced representation.
Yeah. And we were a little overbalanced. So I think we had
That's okay.
70, it was over 70% of our team was women. And I'm delighted. There's definitely a different energy. I'm used to being on the other balance side when I'm on set or something. There is a different energy when it's ladies, and we got it done. We made a beautiful festival award-winning film, emerging technology, and that's another thing. In technology, it's really a male-dominated field
It still is, very much so.
So it's important that we're kind of going, hey, we're pioneers too. Check this out.
We can think that way.
Yeah.
We can visualize. We can
pay attention to what's happening. And now I'm working with another technology company and kind of working with 360 and virtual reality and also 4V, which is like 3D filming. So this has led to a bunch of other avenues for me to express my like out there
Your mind
ideas.
that
It's
never
not
stops.
just making a film. It's got to be the weirdest, hardest way to make a film.
How did you connect with AT&T and get involved in that whole competition? Because there's 1,300 submissions across the board for the categories.
Yeah. Well, they're right up my alley, I have to say. I mean, it's not the only award we've won. We've won some cool awards.
Yes.
But AT&T might be one of the coolest.
Yeah.
And AT&T is definitely a technology company. So I knew when they were holding the AT&T Shape Film Awards that our film was right in line with that.
Okay. So you didn't make the film for the award, for that category.
No.
You had already made it and then discovered like, wow, we should.
Then I
we need to
submitted
submit
it
this
to the Film Awards.
I love
Yeah.
that synchronicity. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and I've been on the lookout for other, technology-based
Yes.
film awards. We just took home a Best Concept Award from the NOAR Drone Film Festival in Brazil last weekend. We have a lot of recognition for the concept as an experimental, as a filmmaker. We've had a Best Drone Awards, so people are getting it, and it's kind of like this has been an experiment for me as well as a producer, like learning about film festivals. And now that I wanted this education, I wanted to use this film to educate me on film festivals. And it's been wonderful because not every film is right for every category or right for every
good
film
point.
festival.
Yeah.
So I've really learned how to decipher like how to get my film seen by people who will appreciate it and where it can be recognized the best.
Let's take a look at a little bit of the ceremony from the AT&T Shape Awards.
Well done, Tonya. That is awesome. Here you go.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That was so cool. I just loved how you used a drone to tell such a actually a very like simple but like sweet story of one woman, and I have to ask, how many takes did it take to get that?
Well, you notice we ended up using a sunset shot as our final shot.
Yeah.
So there were only 3 takes that were usable in that way, but we did it probably 5 times.
Wow. And how did you sprint so fast?
I'm a professional dancer, so my career started that way. And yeah, it took all my athleticism.
Wow. Yeah, it was really, really cool to see you use a drone like that. I mean, typically you see drone shots, going more this way rather than vertical, and I love that you just kind of took it the other plane. It's great.
Really well done. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
The little wink, I love it.
Well, I had such a great posse of people supporting me.
gosh.
I can't resist it. I'm a performer too,
Exactly.
so I can't resist it.
That was such an amazing moment, truly.
It was.
For you and for all the filmmakers, just to have that, your projects recognized on that level.
Yeah.
It's just that pat on the back of keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And AT&T, they do the technology. So they have the undercurrent, but they're not specifically like filmmakers. They don't produce, they don't develop.
Yeah, when that merger happens, like, oh my living word, are you kidding me? But now it makes sense.
Yeah. So it was a perfect storm, that whole
I
event.
love that. I love that. Going back just really quickly to the film festivals, Best Mobile Film, obviously AT&T Shape Film Awards, Best First Time Filmmaker, Canada International Film Festival, Best Experimental Fastigious, is that how I pronounce it?
Or fastidious, yes.
Fastigious
Yep.
Film Festival, Best Original Concept, Free Spirit Film Festival, Best Drone, Eyecatcher Film Festival, Best Concept, No AR, Augmented Reality, right? Drone, that's the Brazil
Yep.
Film Festival. It's actually Latin America's first drone film festival.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there are film festivals for drone technology now.
It's big.
It's amazing.
And these cameras and the drones, they're so neat.
Are they heavy?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did, Andrea and Michael, they were the 2 drone operators. It took 2. And what I wanted was not the easy way ever, but I wanted to start near the ground, handheld,
Okay.
and walk it back, turn in, step back, launch. But that's really dangerous.
Because it's so low?
Well, the launch is dangerous from handheld because the propellers, this is not a little, toy
Because
drone.
I'm thinking the little toy drones at Best Buy.
Oh no, this thing is like this big and the propellers are serious. So you could definitely hurt yourself if something goes wrong, and we don't want anybody getting hurt. So there's protective gear that is actually made. We did not have the luxury or the budget or the time to secure this. I mean, it's like football helmets
Okay.
that people wear with full dog like gear
Yeah.
on. So what we did is we devised on the day a launch platform, and Andrea controlled it. Michael was doing the focusing on that, and she did all the movements from the ground, handheld, up, swing back, and so smoothly, just kind of with Teddy Yonanaka, our gaffer, they then double-handed it smoothly, set it down on the launch platform we built, and then Andrea moves back, trades with Michael,
It's choreographed.
Oh my gosh, the whole thing was choreographed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
It was so fluid.
yes, so fluid.
You don't even notice.
Thank you. We tried. We tried so hard.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm the actor, and I have 4 costume changes while I'm running up every level of stairs to meet the drone in a different, very voyeuristic kind of meeting of the drone in a different decade in time with a different set of emotions and a different me, a different me in Ava in different part of her life. So, and I know that all the time I'm spending behind the walls, which the drone can't see behind the walls. So all the time I'm spending back there changing and running up the stairs is boring time for the drone, right? They don't
Yes.
see anything.
Right.
So I have to be fast, 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 fast. So that's what was hard for me while I was doing it.
Because it's almost like dead air. Yeah. Those in between moments.
Yeah, you want more action and less traveling.
Yeah, you've got the audience, their attention for just so long.
Yeah.
Before they start to wonder.
Yeah.
But the timing.
Yeah, and we fit it into a nice, solid 5 minutes, and we end on the rooftop
You're
at sunset.
insane.
Thank you.
You're insane.
I'll take that as a compliment. Cheers.
Cheers to insanity. God bless insanity. Oh my gosh. And to our bubbly. Vestigious?
Yeah.
Am I saying it right? Okay, so I love the film festival, the International Film Festival. 2 missions to promote indie filmmakers worldwide to achieve gender equality in filmmaking. This was like so right up your alley.
Yeah.
Just being a part of this. Now, they included you on their list of 30 female directors that you should know.
Super honor.
Super honor.
Super
Because
honor.
that's an insane, talk about insane, that list of women.
It's like, watch out.
Yes.
World. Keep paying attention.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just the pure potentiality that's being recognized. But I don't want to say lurking because that sounds really ominous, but it's there.
Yeah.
The energy is there and the art is there. And these platforms are just becoming more and more vital.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any platform that we can help achieve some equality or new voices. I think PR is great. I think festivals are great. I think shadowing is great. I think hiring.
You're shadowing.
I
yes?
have been shadowing.
You have been.
Yes, I have been shadowing.
How's that been?
It's great.
Now,
I
this
love
for
shadowing.
as directing?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a director, I've been
Okay.
shadowing. It's been awesome
So
because
much.
I get to see many different directors' styles. I even come up with shot lists and then silently go see if that shot list is anything like what they're gonna do that day. And sometimes it is. And I'm like, very nice. And other times I have ideas, I've just become aware of a certain type of shooting too, where every production company does it differently. Maybe it's a multicam, maybe it's a 20-day shoot on a feature film. Maybe you're making 10-page days. That's a different style of directing than, say, a large project where you have 4 months to finish the same amount of time. So I'm just learning more business and how that affects the art of it.
So are you finding that you're discovering your niche in that area? There's a particular style that you lean toward, or it's just giving you a great big toolbox now?
Great big toolbox still. I love experimental. I love anything to do with physicality. So I also got the opportunity right away last year to shoot my first television segment. I was director. I also wrote it and I hosted it. And it was on the CW. We premiered on the CW, multicam segment for Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It's amazing.
And I got to hire all these amazing oddity physical piece de la resistance. We have a 75-minute stage show. And that's a good time for everyone. We just keep you laughing, celebrate being women, celebrate sexuality, cheekiness, having fun.
Having fun. We have a little clip of the Tonya Kay's Pinup poll show that I'd like to get on screen. So until that happens, 5 years it's been running. Do you rotate different women?
No, the company is set.
Okay.
It's a company.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And they are multidisciplinary, like myself. And even if they haven't done it before, they know I'm probably going to ask them to. So I also produce these photo shoots that go along with the automotive and model.
Yes.
And we get a lot of publications out of those. They print. We've got our first cover coming up.
Sugared Kiss magazine. They did a
That was
4-page
recent.
spread feature on
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
Thank you.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Really, it was art.
That was taken by Knockingbird Creative. Her name is Knock Ho, and she's an amazing photographer for that sort of thing. Richard Stanley owns the 38 Cadillac that you see in that piece. And then Pinup Pole Show, just doing what we do, modeling, performing, entertaining, just keeping it celebratory, keeping it happy. There's a lot of good in life. So
Absolutely.
that's what we're focused on with that company.
Celebrating the good in life.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a heavy time
Yeah.
that we live in. The levity is really, really vital.
Levity is vital.
It's so vital.
We all need to laugh. I'm not saying ignore. I'm not saying don't focus on, solutions, but we also have to remember life is good.
There's a balance. There's got to be a balance.
Yeah.
Just to keep, I keep using the word sane or insane.
Yeah.
I know. Do we have that clip of the poll show?
Pinup Pole Show.
Pinup poll show?
Yeah.
I really want to get that into the viewing audience. We're also a podcast.
Oh.
We're also a podcast. So our hi podcast listeners. Hello. Here we go. Here we go.
I like a little bit of bad and a good man. A little bit of bad can be a whole lot of fun. When you get me, maybe second to none out of 7 billion beans, baby, you are my one. You got me good till you got it going on. You do it for me, you're the right amount of wrong.
They made me want to sing. They're so good, so much energy. Love this show. Amazing.
This is Tonya Kay's Pinup Pole Show.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
Wow, what's going on over here?
She thinks I'm trying to take advantage of her.
Can we please just take it backstage because we're just getting started here?
So many amazing costumes, straight from the 1950s. I wasn't alive in that era, but I wish I was, because I would rock those every day.
That girl
This
on
is
roller
amazing.
skates, she was doing pole in roller skates. I have no idea how she did that.
That's Monica Kay.
Okay, my favorite
Oh my
part of the show
gosh.
was the giant champagne glass.
And
it was like
this.
old Hollywood. Tonya Kay is amazing.
These women are like Olympic athletes.
It's true.
16 feet in the air, strength, and style.
Yeah, your weekend is great. Ooh, when you're cool as hot. Yeah, you got me good till you got it going on. You can't hold me, you're the right amount of wrong.
Amazing. Does the show change a lot, or do you keep it to a similar format?
Yeah, well, the format is the same, but everything changes every time. So we have a lot of people that come to every single show.
Because it's different.
It is different. We have some signature acts, though, that are crowd favorites that they want to see when they bring their friends. They want to show them those acts, but we switch it up. So we have like probably 4 different shows, and we can mix and mingle these acts. The cars are different every time. The art is different every time. The music, it's a lot of fun.
Now, when you talk about striptease, would you consider striptease and burlesque? They're not the same per se, are they?
They can be.
They can be.
Oh yeah, they can be.
They can be. Okay. Why this medium?
Why do I love burlesque? Burlesque for me is very vaudevillian, and it goes back to my theater roots. And I love that perfect act that's just, first of all, as a soloist, you get to create your costume, you pick out your music, you choreograph your dance, You do everything. So there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of self-expression when you create the act. That's a fun part.
Yeah.
I make my costumes at home. But also, I've been dancing for a long time. I've done theater for a long time. And I kind of feel like burlesque is definitely one of those art forms that you get better at the older you are, because you know more about yourself and you know more about your sexuality.
Exactly, your body.
And it's more fun for me, even as an audience member, to watch somebody who loves themselves, who is celebrating themselves. And that's usually, the older you get, the more experience you have, the more rich you are, the more when you smile, the more it means, because there's all this experience and there's sadness behind that smile and there's challenges behind that smile. And then there's triumph because you still chose to smile. Getting a little weepy right here. So that's how I feel about burlesque as an art form. And the vaudevillian part of it, like the act, the storyline, the cheekiness, the funny. You can add, if you sing, you can add that in. If you do a specialty art, which I do a ton of, you can add that in. It's about you. I just love burlesque. And I also love burlesque women and the people who hang around the burlesque culture, because they're never the ones that are sitting demurely at home. They're always creative. They're always like, let's do it. Let's challenge the system.
It's courageous.
Yeah. But burlesque women, burlesque boys. There's burlesque men out there as well, and they're renegades. I just love meeting these people wherever I go, New Orleans or New Mexico or New York. Everybody in that scene is a really cool artist.
You're finding that the show is really popular. Yeah. Traveling a lot.
Oh, I do travel a lot. I travel with a different company. So Pinup Pole Show doesn't travel so much right now, but I travel with the La-Las, and that is burlesque as well. I host that show, and we are popular across the nation. Because, the nation doesn't get a lot. We take it for granted in the cities that there's this type of entertainment
That's a good
to
point.
go to.
Yeah.
But Kansas does not have this type of entertainment,
It's a
especially
novelty.
at this level. So you take an LA burlesque company and you put them in, Washington State or anywhere.
You were just in Washington, yes?
We were just in Washington.
How was it?
Great. They love us. They love us. And I like burlesque hosting because, I feel like I can be really real on the microphone.
Yeah.
And it's almost an education in letting people know, because sometimes, especially in today's climate, people are, men are, the respectful men are afraid to acknowledge your womanness. And so I feel like I can give people, as a host, I can give people permission and instructions almost on how you can still celebrate and you can still encourage and support without being disrespectful. Like,
absolutely.
There is a line.
It can still be a safe environment.
I'm here to help you feel comfortable with that line.
Yeah. Navigate these waters that we're in.
Yeah.
Because they're super tricky right now.
They're super tricky.
Super tricky.
And I'm not, the last thing I want to see happen is for everybody to just become really frigid and scared.
And silent.
Yeah. So there's a line everywhere. And I think as long as we're interested in knowing where that line is, women will guide you towards it. They'll say you've stepped over the line.
Yes.
Back up. And then they'll also say, you're fine. Thank you for the support. Like, let's hear some hoots and hollers.
You've been compared to Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
That's
an honor.
Oh, my living word.
Oh, my gosh. Another woman who got her big break at 42.
Pioneering.
Yes. Then she went on to dominate. Owned Hollywood.
And in that era. In that era.
Yeah. Yeah, she was renegade as well.
Yeah. Pure renegade.
Pure renegade.
So I just want to reiterate that Tonya Kay's Pinup Pole Show, your next show, is going to be Saturday, August 17th. It will be upstairs at the Federal in North Hollywood. 6 p.m. classic car show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 8 p.m. staged show.
Yep.
Yeah. So they can go online
to
get tickets.
PinupPoleShow.com.
It's August 1st already.
Yeah, get the tickets.
Get the tickets now. Okay. Let's segue into the Derailed.
Yeah.
Derailed. I love horror, sci-fi, especially the classic Hollywood stuff. So this is actually, it's coming out August 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's being released like
It's being
next
released
week.
next week.
Yeah.
It's called D/Railed, directed by Dale, is it Fabregas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk a little bit about this film and the experience.
You're going to love Derailed if you like horror films and monster horror. It is definitely like a throwback to that time. Plus, it's set in the 1920s.
Oh, so it's a period piece.
It's a period piece, so it's really pretty. We actually got to shoot at the Train Museum over in Burbank, I guess that is there. And of course, the museum's open during the day, so we shot nights on these trains that are kind of spooky anyway.
Oh my God, yes.
And they're so super authentic from the era. And our costumes were cool. Our hair was cool. I loved everything about that era styling. But there is a monster. I like monsters myself. Things I like about horror, like as an actor in horror, is that there's another artist creating practical effects, creating special effects, creating monsters that's lacking maybe in person in science fiction. So when I'm an actor on a science fiction set, there's a lot of green screen.
You're right.
And you've got a lot of actors looking around like, all right, director says, imagine that a ball of energy is flying at you. And everybody looks in a different direction. And everybody's idea of what the ball of energy looks like is different. So you get a lot of very strange acting sometimes.
Right.
Because nobody's actually interacting with what they're pretending to see. But horror, you've got these artists on set with you, and it's beautiful. It's tactile. You can interact with the thing. The blood is on you. The monster is in front of you. It's so much
That's
fun.
a dream come true.
Yeah,
It has to be.
It's so much fun.
It has to be. And it's with Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
He's so iconic.
He was a Hollywood pro.
Yes.
On set, super pro, great attitude the whole time. Calm, that great demeanor of an older gentleman who's been through it and has seen it and is not surprised at all. And he worked the late nights with all of us. So
It's so good to hear that.
Big respect.
I think I saw him at a CVS one time, like at 1 o'clock in the morning in Hollywood. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't say anything to him, but it's just so, you're scared. You can't help but be a little scared and intimidated by him. It's like, I know he's in front of the toilet paper, but he's still kind of scary. And so Derailed, it's sweeping awards as well.
Yeah, Best Picture Awards,
Yeah.
Best Narrative Awards. I actually won Best Supporting Actress from the LA Actor Awards.
Congratulations.
For my role in that. And I got to play a role that was very similar or enjoyable for me. I play a lot of villains.
I don't understand that. But I'm not being facetious.
I
like what?
I get that on set too. As soon as I turn it off and it's like cut and then I walk back, people are like, you are so nice in real life and you are such a... I'm like, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's the part of acting that I do enjoy it. Villains, to me, I play them like full people, complex people. There's a reason they're that way. I want people to understand. They don't have to like me, but they should understand that all of us have the potential to be a villain or to make a different choice. And all of us have been through everything. I think acting is noble in that I'm getting to know people who I'm not necessarily behaving like in real life. And it gives me empathy. And it really, acting does give me empathy for my fellow humans. Being a villain, like being a horrible human being on camera, helps me love other people more.
Do you find that also helps with the empathy that you're learning as an actor, as a director, being able to work with actors and understanding the process that they're going through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to, another thing that helps me work with actors as a director helps me work with actors is not just being an actor, but also dance. I taught dance to so many different levels of dancer, ages of dancer, psychologies of dancer. And that's accurate for actors as well. Everyone's at a different level. They're at a different, age. They're at a different psychology. So you have to communicate differently for every single person.
So vital.
Yeah.
So vital.
And the empathy comes from all over the place. Like, I just want to know about that person. There's no judgment. There's no way I have to communicate with you. If you're respecting me, we're good. But I want to communicate with you. So if I see that I'm failing or I'm not getting what I want, I challenge myself to be a better communicator. And
like, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has everything in them. And it's if they feel comfortable letting it out or if they know what they're going for, if it matches your vision.
What do you have on the horizon?
Well, Derailed is coming out
August
next
6th.
week.
Okay.
And I'm in a film called Verotica, another horror film. This is Glenn Danzig's directorial debut.
Okay.
That's coming out in October. And it's become a cult classic already without even being released for many reasons. So watch it. You may get a good laugh. You may really appreciate the nichiness of it as well. And I'm currently writing a dark musical with the Independent Shakespeare Company of California.
Oh my gosh.
Based on the life of Anita Berber. She was the zeitgeist of the progressive movement in art in Germany in the 1920s. And she was quite a renegade. And this is going to be dance. It's going to be sexuality. It's going to be controversial. She was known as the priestess of depravity. And that goes up at the Independent Shakespeare Company's resident theater in November.
In November.
So I'm really excited about this because, when you get into the creation portion of any development, it's kind of swallows you whole. I'm in that world. I'm in the Weimar Republic world right now. And it's so rich and beautiful and mirrors things that are happening today, and we need to learn from it. And this woman, who was she and what can we find out? Because a lot of the information has been destroyed right after the 1920s. So, it's just fascinating.
Have you been able to speak with any of her family or?
Oh, no, I have not. But we have had a translator because there's not a ton of English written work available. So I've read the pieces that are available in English, but we have had a translator translate some of the reviews of her dances. She was a famous dancer. And this translator is such a poet. She's a voiceover artist, and she's reading these and translating, and it brings more life. I'm so inspired by these old reviews of her dance pieces. Because back then, think about it, in the 20s, films started coming out, and it was still a minor, she was in them too, by the way. It was still a minor thing. People didn't know how to go see films yet, or they were silent. And it was small filmmakers, people just making, there's no rules.
Yes.
It's the Wild West. We're going to make these films. And a lot of them got banned. Like, the governments did not like the films that were coming out because it's artists. So what was the popular and mainstream type of entertainment back then was live theater, dance performances.
Yeah, the vaudeville.
Eventually
Yes.
cabaret.
Yep.
In that format took place. So these reviews, people, when they wrote the reviews, it's different than the reviews that are written about a dance performance nowadays. It was the ultimate pop culture back then to go to a dance performance. So these people were stars of stars, and the reviews were so poetic themselves. It's really beautiful time period to learn about. All of art was rebelling against what came before. And from Impressionism to Expressionism.
Yeah, and it started in Europe.
Yeah.
A lot of that started in Europe.
Yeah, France was a moving,
Huge.
Germany was a
Yeah.
moving place for it. Lots of exciting things happening around that time. And she was the zeitgeist of it. She was the spirit.
That is so exciting.
Yeah. So come to the Independent Shakespeare Company of California's resident theater to see Anita Berber is Dead this November.
Okay. You'll be posting about that?
Absolutely.
Speaking of posting, where can people find you on the socials?
The socials, well, my name, you can always look up my name, which is Tonyakay, Tonya Kay. I'm on Twitter. I love Twitter.
Do you?
I love it because it's not Facebook and it's not Instagram, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. And you can find my company, Pinup Pole Show, in all those places as well, under Pinup Pole Show.
So
It's easy.
the Ascension of Ava Delaine isn't out for public consumption yet because you're still doing the festival circuit.
We've got a few more festivals that
Okay.
I'd really like to see us at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So eventually, okay.
Soon.
Yeah, we get a soon?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
good.
get it soon.
Okay, good.
By this autumn, I should know if we're in these festivals or
Okay.
not.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. This is absolutely amazing. I'm
Thanks,
looking
Tami.
forward to so much more.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's unlimited.
Thank you.
It's unlimited. Thanks, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.